unique in every way.
Citi 97.3. More variety.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News. We are coming to you live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. My name is Adjoatin Krama Domina. Coming up, Lands Minister describes allegations of sale of state lands as false as he dares individuals making these allegations to provide evidence.
Ghana lands are being stolen and grabbed and looted. All of them are false, as you can tell. And as I say, I throw the challenge that anybody can step forward.
Also coming up, residents of Konongo alarmed by active illegal mining in the middle of the town.
Around our area, you can't even sleep. The machines, they work every now and then, even as at 12 a.m. When we close and we get to the house, they will still be using their machines, and it's kind of noisy around our area.
Still in the bulletin, we'll bring you latest from the Public Accounts Committee sitting as the University of Media, Arts and Communication, formerly GIJ, reviews some 11 million Ghana cedis of its investment has been locked up with the defunct NDK Financial Service.
By the grace of God, we were able to recover 200,000 cedis. And then the letter that followed the payment was that the institution is going through crisis because of the situation we find ourselves.
And later, network system challenges at Tamale Teaching Hospital slows down healthcare delivery as management urges calm among patients.
We are telling them it isn't that the system is down, just that it is slow. And so we are assuring the public that, yes, work is ongoing.
Stay with us for details of these and more stories coming your way in the next 30 minutes. Remember, the bulletin is live on YouTube on Citi 97.3 FM across the globe. We are live on citinewsroom.com. We're also live across the country on a number of affiliate stations in the Western region. This is Premier 100.5 FM in Takoradi, Beach 105.5 FM also in Takoradi. If you are in the Bunu region, tune into J Live 95.5 FM in Sunyai. In the Ashanti region, Orange 107.9 FM in Kumasi. In the Volta region, this is Global 105.1 FM in Ho, Adanu 107.7 FM in Adakluwoya. In the Northern region, this is Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. In Upper West Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. In the Upper East region, Source 100.1 FM in Boko. And in the Northeast region, this is Scalp 101.3 FM. Please stay for details.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Updates you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
We're grateful for your company this afternoon. Let's begin with a Public Accounts Committee and matters that are arising from there. And the University of Media, Arts and Communication, formerly the Ghana Institute of Journalism, has disclosed that 11 million Ghana cedis of its investment has been locked up with the NDK Financial Services as a result of the banking sector cleanup. Management says it has been able to retrieve an amount of 200,000 cedis from this arrears. Now, at the Public Accounts Committee sitting, its chairman, James Klucha-Veji, charged the institution to take pragmatic steps in recovering the funds.
By the grace of God, we were able to recover 200,000 cedis. And then the letter that followed the payment was that the institution is going through crisis because of the situation we find ourselves within the financial sector. So we should bear with them to be able to honor our commitment. We waited up to the end. Beyond the 200,000, we couldn't get any additional redemption requests being honored from them.
I think you only have to speed up the process. Let the board decide on the next action to take. Probably the only option is to go to court. And when you go to court, the process will delay. At least you have taken some action. You have to go to court on this matter.
You heard the Public Accounts Committee Chair James Kluche Aveji on that some areas of the Ghana Institute of Journalism, now the University of Media, Arts and Communication, being stacked up in the NDK Financial Service. Let's bring you some other stories. Now, the technical difficulties with the Tamale Teaching Hospital's health information management system are leading to a slowdown in service delivery. The hospital is yet to provide a reason for this system challenge, which started on Sunday, August 11. But currently, the hospital is unsure when the network will be restored fully for normal operations. But they say that they have switched to a backup network as part of measures to minimize impact on patients who will be seeking healthcare today. A public relations officer of the hospital, Aliu Zubaira, speaking to Citi News, assured patients of efforts to ensure healthcare delivery is not disrupted.
So far, a new server has been sent to try to augment the processes for us. And so that is where we are at the moment. What I can tell is that they have brought in a new server to try to see how that we can move on to that server to possibly get back to our normal operation. We hope it will be soon, but that would depend on the technical reports we'll be getting. But at the moment, they are on the system. So we are telling them it isn't that the system is down, just that it is slow. And so we are assuring the public that, yes, work is ongoing. When they come, they will be able to access service. Just that they may have to delay a bit as compared to when the IT system is working perfectly.
So that's a public relations officer at the Tamale Teaching Hospital, Aliu Zubaira. Meanwhile, the executive director of the Africa Center for Health Policy Research and former director at the Ridge Hospital, Dr. Thomas Anaba, says the issue is affecting the budget of hospitals as he blames network providers for this system failure.
The most important one is the network providers. We have a regulator for network providers, and we can all attest to the fact that the regulator of these network providers and service providers are not up to task. You are even making a call, it breaks. You want to transmit a text message, then it is stopped. So they have to be taken up to make sure they provide the services that they have promised Ghanaians to provide. Telcos are providing services that are of quality, and we are all challenged. So a hospital should always have backup. And that comes at another cost to the hospital, simply because either electricity fluctuation has caused a breakdown of the system, or the internet providers are not able to provide the services that they have signed to provide, and regulators are not taking them up. So it comes to a whole systemic failure, I would consider it, not mainly from the hospital management, but it's a serious systemic failure from all key players who are to play and make sure the digitalization drive that we are all talking about comes to reality.
That's the Executive Director of the Africa Center for Health Policy Research and Analysis, Dr. Thomas Anaba. Let's bring you one of our headline stories. And there is active mining in the middle of the Konongo town on the main Accra-Kumasi highway, prompting concerns among residents on the destruction and pollution of a major water source. The Environmental Protection Agency and the Mineral Commission officials in the area were told that the Asante Akim Central Assembly was only carrying out a dredging exercise, but mining is being done on their blind side. Now, the place is now being blocked to prevent people traveling on the highway to have an idea of this distraction. The activities of the miners have heavily polluted the Ore River, and residents are not happy about the situation. Here's a resident of Konongo, Grace Pokuache, speaking to Ashanti Regional Correspondent Afisi Jani on the matter.
Probably it might kill the fishes and then the living things in the water.
But what changes have you seen in the Ore River?
The color of the river, and then apart from that, I've not seen anything else. I think the color has changed. The Galamsey activities they are partaking in this community.
Do you think the authorities are not acting?
Yeah, they are not acting. I think I stay around where the activities is ongoing, and then I don't see anything like the community chief or the police or anybody partaking to make them stop that activity. and it's kind of alarming because around our area, you can't even sleep. The machines, they work every now and then, even as at 12 a.m. when we close and we get to the house, they will still be using their machines, and it's kind of noisy around our area.
So that's a resident of Konongo, Grace Pokwache. We'll get more from our Ashanti regional correspondent on this matter. But the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, James Klucha-Veji, has also been commenting on the issues of illegal mining. He is criticizing the government for its inability to effectively address the issue. Now, Mr. Veji expressed concerns over the government's lack of decisive actions, pointing out that both the president and the Forestry Commission have failed to tackle the problem adequately. Now, his comments follow a presentation by the Forestry Commission to the Public Accounts Committee, where the commission outlined various interventions aimed at curbing illegal mining. Despite these efforts, James Klucha-Veji remains unconvinced that the issue is being addressed with the necessary urgency and effectiveness it deserves. Here are excerpts of proceedings of the committee.
Between January 2022 and now, we've immobilized more than 160 excavators. We've arrested more than 400 persons. Last year alone, we arrested about 281 persons. Only 22 of these cases were tried successfully. Most of them are pending.
You have painted a very good picture that things are getting better. I doubt it. I doubt that. Something that the president could not solve, how can you, small boy, solve it? The president couldn't solve it. So, as for this illegal mining thing, I'm not sure the answer you have given here is anything to go by. You can't. If number one couldn't finish it, which number are you?
You had excerpts of proceedings from the Public Accounts Committee sitting between the Executive Director of the Forest Service Division of the Forestry Commission, Hugh Brown, and the committee chairman, James Klucha-Veji. Now, let's get on the phone lines and speak with our Ashanti regional correspondent, Hafiz Tijani, who reported earlier on the Konongo mining incident. Hafiz, good afternoon. Thank you for your time here on the news. Help us appreciate really what is happening in Konongo.
Yeah. Hello?
Hello, Hafiz. I'm asking that you help us appreciate exactly the problem. We understand that the place is now being blocked to prevent people traveling on the highway to really have an idea of the distraction going on. Paint a picture to us of what's exactly happening.
So when you bypass the Konongo main terminal, that is the Konongo market heading to Accra or the Joasu Road, on your left from Kumasi, you see there's a place that is caving in, and this place has been a source of worry for people who live around the place. They have reported the incident to the Roads and Highway Ministry, but that issue is yet to be solved. And we're told that these miners, someone who was leading them, we do not have the names yet, said that there was going to be a dredging exercise there so that they can prevent flooding in some of the communities, but only for the residents to see the mining activities going on. So 3 days ago, we're told that they came to use some zinc to block the place so that people who are traveling on the main Accra-Kumasi highway will not appreciate the level of distraction on that field.
So you mentioned... please
close by. There's a church close by, and the people are not happy. Every day when they come to church, even this morning, we spoke to the pastor of the church who was not happy. He threatened to lead a protest against the authorities in the area. He's saying that people who are in authority, like the assembly, the chiefs in the area, have been seeing what is happening and they are not acting. And he is threatening to lead a protest against the authorities there. Right. And people, of course, are not happy because it is polluting the water sources in the area.
That's a question I was coming to. How crucial is this river we are talking about to the residents, and how many people are going to be affected if the situation is not solved?
Okay, so the Owerri River is a main water source for the community there, and it has a tributary with the Enum River, which is an intake point of the
Ghana Water Company Limited for their Konongo treatment plant. And for the past month, the Ghana Water Company has been raising concerns about the operational cost, the additional operational cost they have to incur in treating and distributing water to communities within Konongo and Agogo and adjoining communities. And this is going to compound the problem. Already, inhabitants are complaining that when they open their taps, the water that comes from it is so filthy. The color has changed, and they are raising the concerns. And they are saying that this is going to compound the issues about water supply in the area.
Hafiz, lastly, what have authorities in the area been telling you about this situation?
Well, so before going to Konongo, yesterday I called the MCE and he told me he will be available. So when we got to the assembly, he said he had to attend to an emergency. Later he called back and said he was not going to be available and that he can only avail himself later to speak to me.
Very well, thank you. But do follow up for us to get update on the situation. That's Ashanti Regional Correspondent Hafiz Tijani giving us updates on the active illegal mining that's going on in the middle of the Konongo Township. We understand this is affecting a crucial river body that residents rely on. We hope authorities will tackle the issue. This is a Citi Prime News. When we return, Lance Minister describes allegations of sale of state lands as false as he dares individuals making these allegations to provide evidence. We have details of that and other stories shortly.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD+, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes. Channel 1 TV, telling your story, empowering change.
Join us on this exciting journey as a new chapter begins on Sunday, 18th August 2024, under the distinguished patronage of the chairman of the New Patriotic Party, the flag bearer and presidential candidate, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and his running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. The NPP unveils the bold solutions to today's challenges. Tune in to your favorite TV channel and radio station and join us as we show the path to a brighter tomorrow. All roads lead to Secondary Takoradi on Sunday, August 18th at 1 p.m.
The grand finale of the Literacy Challenge 2024 is here. Congratulations to our top 10 finalists. But the big question is, who out of our top 10 wins the ultimate prize of 10,000 Ghana cedis, the Glitzy Trophy, and the bragging rights as the Literacy Challenge winner for 2024? Support your favorite student, support your school, and let's promote literacy in Ghana. Tune in live to Channel 1 TV for the grand finale on Saturday, 17th August 2024 at 12 noon. Call 0205-973-973 for more details. The Literacy Challenge 2024 is powered by Citi FM, supported by Channel 1 TV, and is sponsored by Ghana National Gas Company, Alive Soap. Feel fresh, feel alive. From the House of Wilma Africa Limited. Fortune spread for bread. Yummy, delicious, always on point. Another quality product from Wilma Africa Limited. Ribby Biscuits by M4 Foods and Prospectus Ghana Limited. Your one-stop shop for all school items.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Let's bring you some other stories. The Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Jinapor, has challenged individuals accusing the government of sale of state lands to provide evidence. This follows several allegations, including recent ones by the Coalition of Land Associations, accusing the government of superintending over unethical and seizures by some politicians. Now, speaking at a news conference in Accra, Samuel Abdullah Jinapor described these comments as attempts to create disaffection against the government.
2017, we didn't see any substantive response to those allegations. Here we are in 2024, where we are 3 months to an election, and that same effort is being made to whip up public sentiments against government. Public lands are being sold, Ghana lands are being stolen and grabbed and looted. All of them are false, as you can tell. And as I say, I throw the challenge that anybody can step forward to tell me that, Mr. Minister, this Ghana land is being sold, this particular land has been taken, this appointee has been allocated this land. At least since I've been minister, I can put my hand in fire that nobody can bring any evidence to prove that. And the rule of this discourse is records and is data, and the data is there at Lands Commission. And anybody has any contrary data, they can put it forward, and that is what I've done, to put out the data, to put out the records, to establish that those allegations are palpably false.
Samuel Abu Jinapor is the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. Well, he has also been commenting about the Achimota forest lands, and he says the government has successfully negotiated 100 acres of land out of the 362 acres of Achimota land granted to the Owu family. Addressing the press conference regarding allegations of state capture, the minister noted that the previous government had handed over the land to the Alodio owners. He, however, emphasized that the development of the land will follow established procedures to ensure the ecology of the Achimota forest is not compromised.
At the time I became minister, 362 acres of the land had been concluded. Leases have been given in respect of those lands. Some of them, decisions have been made that 362 of the Achimota forest lands be returned to the Owu family for one consideration or the other. And that transcended from President Kufuor's government all the way to President Akufo-Addo's government, up to 2021 when I became minister. We set up a team, we went into negotiations with Achimota Forest because we were concerned about the ecological integrity of the forest, and we wanted a buffer. We wanted a buffer between what the old family will have and what will now constitute today's Achimota Forest. And we were able to negotiate a reduction of 100 acres out of the 362 acres which had been cast in iron by previous governments, and the current administration had been bound legally by previous governments for the release of 362 acres of Achimota forest. And so as we speak today, we've negotiated a reduction of 100 acres, and now the parcel of land that is supposed to be released back to the whole family is 262 acres.
Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abdullah Jinapor. The Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Roads and Highways, Nasser Ahmed Yate, says the maintenance of 40 streetlights is the responsibility of local authorities and not the ministry. This follows rising complaints and concerns from stakeholders about the absence and malfunctioning streetlights in various parts of the country, particularly in the capital. Now, speaking on the City Breakfast Show, Nasser Ahmed Yate explained that the Ministry of Roads and Highways is responsible for the installation of these street lights during road construction, while the responsibility for their ongoing maintenance falls on the local assemblies.
If you take the August 2011 policy document and you go to the section 4, where it talks about the policy direction when it comes to street lights, it places the ownership and responsibility for maintenance of street lights in the hands of the local authorities. So what happens is that as a road ministry, when we are constructing roads, we provide the infrastructure. So, for example, if you go to Boteman to School Junction, for example, you see that we've provided street lights, very beautiful street lights. So that's what we do as a ministry. We add the provision of the street lights to the road contract when we are constructing roads. But when we are done constructing the roads and we provided the infrastructure, its maintenance, the law places it in the hands of the local authorities. And that's why they collect levies for street lights.
Nasir Ahmed Yate is a public relations officer for the Ministry of Roads and Highways. Now, the Ghana Hemophilia Society is warning of dire consequences if the Food and Drugs Authority, the FDA, does not fast-track its certification of the medication donated to the country. Now, the FDA's requirement to register all drugs needed for the treatment of hemophilia has slowed the distribution of these medications, leading to delays in surgeries for patients. Speaking to Citi News, President of the Ghana Hemophilia Society, Martin Boachi, urged the FDA to act with the urgency it deserves on the matter.
The medicine that come to Ghana, we are talking about 10 to 15 different types of hemophilia treatment drugs. How can they register each and every one for Ghana? The FDA insists that irrespective, these medicines must be registered. So this is a standoff. And I've had to battle this for over 10 years. Every time I had to go there and talk several times before it is released once in a while. The options available to us and to Ghana is that very soon the World Federation of Hemophilia will stop bringing the medicines to Ghana, and the Ghana government must find means of importing or buying these drugs for the patients of Ghana. Remember that we are talking about one injection costing a minimum of $1,200. And if you want to give prophylaxis to the minimum 500 patients that we have in Ghana, we are talking about 500 patients times 1,200. And for prophylaxis regimes, every patient must receive 3 of these injections per week. So if Ghana government is saying that regulations will not allow them to allow the drugs to come in for the patients, then the World Body very soon will stop. And the Ghana government must find means of purchasing these drugs.
Martin Boachi is president of the Ghana Hemophilia Society. Let's bring you some updates on Ghana's inflation today. And inflation slowed for a fourth consecutive month in July to 20.9% year-on-year. This represents a decline of 2.1 percentage points from that of June, which was at 23.0%. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, food inflation stood at 21.5%, while non-food inflation was slightly lower at 20.5%. Inflation on imported items also stood at 15.6%. Now, this compares with the 23.3% recorded for locally produced items. Government statistician Professor Samuel Kobna attributed the decline to a fall in both food and non-food inflation.
In the month of July 2024, we recorded a 1.0 percentage point difference between food inflation, which stood at 21.5%, relative to 20.5% on a month-on-month basis, 1.7%. Inflation from a locally produced item and an imported item perspective recorded a 7.7 percentage point difference, with locally produced items recording a relatively higher rate of inflation of 23.3% relative to 15.6% for inflation on imported items. We focus on food and non-food inflation from a year-on-year basis, and we look at this from food inflation perspective July 2024 and non-food inflation perspective for July 2024. Again, from a food inflation perspective, we see that the rate of inflation is about 2.4 times lower than the rate that was recorded over the 12-month calendar period.
That's the government statistician, Professor Samuel Kobna Enim. Let's do some other stories this afternoon. The Eastern Regional Communications Bureau of the National Democratic Congress is demanding an immediate improvement in road infrastructure in the region. Even though the NPP has undertaken some road projects in the area, the NDC insists that the deplorable nature of roads in the region has reached worrying levels, thus affecting agriculture, the economy, and the overall quality of life of residents. Addressing the media at the second edition of the Eastern Must Know series, the NDC's Eastern Regional Communications Officer Kojo Dankwai called on the NPP government to address all road concerns before the December polls.
We demand immediate road infrastructure overhaul from President Akufo-Addo as a native of this region. We demand that the government urgently implement a comprehensive and transparent plan to repair and construct the carrying road network in the Eastern region. This plan must be enacted within their 5 months left and address the severe degradation and ensure that critical roads are functional and safe for use. We demand investigation into corruption and theft. We call for an immediate and thorough investigation by relevant state agencies into the allegation of corruption and theft concerning the misappropriation of funds intended for roads, projects, and other systematic thefts of rail assets.
Kojo Dankwa is the Eastern Regional Communications Officer of the National Democratic Congress, ending today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios in Adabraka, Accra. For more stories, please log on to citynewsroom.com. My name is Ajuatin Kramadomna. Thank you for your company. Good afternoon.
City News. We speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302-224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.